And this is literally like the scene in Devil Wears Prada where they're like, they're so different. It's just so hard to choose. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Knits by Mandy. My name's Amanda, and today I thought I would show you a little bit of my yarn stash. We'll do a little bit of a flash my stash video, as well as talking about what I plan on making with some items. So I have about 5 patterns that I have percolating and queued up in my mind, which is kind of rare for me. I sometimes like to fly by the creative seat of my pants and just kind of see what I want to knit next. And I honestly usually don't keep a huge stash either. And I wouldn't consider this like a huge quantity of yarn, but it's kind of more than I usually like have on deck. So I thought it would be fun to talk about some summer patterns that I'm planning on making and the yarns that I'm using to make them. I saw Kalila, her YouTube tag is more Kopi Kali, make this video, and I really enjoyed it. It's not going to be as long as hers, but I hope you enjoy this format. So the first yarn I have to show you today is this Madeline tosh yarn that my mom got for me as a gift. And this is the merino and cotton base, and it has this really pretty aqua blue color with, you know, some white spots and also some like indigo and brown speckling. And this is, like I said, merino cotton, and I've been wanting to work with a combination of cotton and wool yarns this summer. I haven't done that yet, and just kind of see what that's like. This is actually a superwash merino and cotton mix. I think it's Pima cotton. Yeah, superwash merino and Pima cotton. So pretty nice materials that I'm working with. But yes, like I said, my mom got this as a gift for me. She was on vacation in Northern California, and I think it's either Santa Rosa or Santa Clara. She stopped into a yarn store called Castaway Yarn, and she called me and was like, "What do you want?" And so I kind of just gave her direction on what kind of fibers to look for, and I think someone in the shop helped her out. And I said, just pick out a color, like, you know me well enough to pick out a color. So she gave me these two. Very excited to work with them, like I said. And I am going to knit with them the Talia Tank by Riley Anderson. So when I got this yarn, I realized that this is about, it's 200 grams of DK weight yarn, and that kind of leaves you a bit limited for the size of project you can make. I definitely still wanted to make a garment with these because it is the summer, and you obviously wouldn't really make a sock with this anyway. So anyway, I went into Ravelry and used their advanced search settings, which I really like to use. And so I searched by like weight, the yarn weight, and also the yardage that I had, and some patterns came up, but I really liked this one. So this one only has 5 projects in Ravelry, so I'm kind of excited to give it a try. It is goes up to size 5XL, which I think is great, and it's just a pretty basic, it's pretty basic cami with tie straps and a bit of a ruffle, and I think that'd be a good addition to my wardrobe. So just something simple. And I've only worked actually with hand-dyed yarn once before, now that I think about it, but when like thinking about using this, I didn't want to make anything with like lace or that was too textured, because I didn't want either like the work I was doing in the project to get lost in the yarn, or the yarn to get lost in whatever texture I was knitting in. So thinking like to keep it pretty simple and like straightforward with this, and I'm excited for what that'll look like. So that is yarn number 1. And this is where I warn you that the next 2 are gonna look a little similar, but I promise they're different. And I will just give you a sneak peek really quickly of what they look like. So here's one, and then here's the other. And this is literally like the scene in Devil Wears Prada where they're like, they're so different. It's just so hard to choose. And Anne Hathaway's like, you're kidding, right? I hope you get it. Like, you're the Miranda Priestley in this situation and you're not Anne Hathaway, just be Stanley Tucci, or like Stanley Tucci, Meryl Streep, great options while I'm describing this to you. So yes, I haven't knit something blue since like the second sweater I made, and all of a sudden now I have 3 blue projects set up. So wasn't gonna be my first choice. I probably wouldn't like have planned it this way, but I have this yarn and I'm gonna use it. So I think I'll end up having like 3 pretty distinct pieces by the end of this. And hopefully that'll help mitigate me feeling like I just knit the same thing 3 times in a row. So the next thing I'll talk about is the other cotton merino blend that I have in my stash. And there's something beeping outside. This is the Knitting for Olive cotton merino. If you watch my podcast, you may have seen this in my acquisition section. I bought this when I purchased the merino wool that I made my cami number 5 with. And since I was ordering yarn all the way from Norway, I was like, well, you know, I might just throw a few more things in there if it's gonna be making the trip over here. So I decided to I wanted to try their cotton merino, like I said, and these two actually are different. Obviously they're different weight. This is a fingering weight and this is DK, like I said, but their compositions are different as well. So not only is this a superwash wool, but this is a 50-50 composition of 50% wool and 50% cotton, and this one is 70% cotton and 30% wool. So it is different, and clearly these blues are different, okay? Okay. They're very different. You think this doesn't involve you, okay? Anyway, I'll promise I'll stop quoting Devil Wears Prada. So this is in the color Elephant Blue, and it's almost like a storm cloud blue. I think that's what I'll call it. And I really like it. It's really pretty. And I only have 150 grams of this. This is a 50-gram ball. So I decided I will try to do the June Top Light by Petiteknit. And let me just double check. So the June Top Light goes up to a size 3XL, and it's knit in fingering weight yarn. Petiteknit also released like a regular version, which is in DK weight. And I guess I could make 2 June tops if I wanted to, but I don't think I want to do that. But I'm gonna do the fingering weight one because Knitting for Olive is sold out of this color right now, and I don't really feel like hunting it down just to like knit it up on a size higher. I will persevere and suffer through making this on small needles, making another fingering weight tank top. Like I said, just finished cami number 5, and I actually thought I was going to use this to make a different tank top, which is called the Yoko top by Knitting for Olive, and it's kind of the same deal though, that it's like a 2x2 rib like camisole. And after kind of seeing the project photos, I didn't love how it was fitting people. And I also did not want to do that to myself again. So I decided if I'm gonna make something on small needles, I'll at least do it in stockinette stitch and have a really like nice basic tank top at the end of it. So apparently the June top is like designed so that it won't show your bra straps. So that's exciting. It's like a 50-50 chance if I'm wearing a bra in the summer, but I like the option should I need it, you know? So yes, that is the plan for this blue little lady right there. Very pretty, very pretty. Okay, while I have the Knitting for Olive out, I will take a detour away from blue and go back to purple. The next thing that I have is their merino and artichoke purple. If you've been on my channel before, you may remember I made my anchor sweater by Petiteknit in this color. I love this color. I like to think of it as Knits by Mandy purple because it's like the color of my intro slide. Anyway, it's like my favorite color in the world. Okay, so I have about 100 grams left of this, and I definitely don't want to let this beautiful, perfect, amazing yarn go to waste. And so I was looking, and then I was looking for like smaller projects, and I remembered that Emily from High Fiber Knits recently, I don't know, time's a constant, like time's a blur, so I don't know how recently it was, but she had knit the Nurture Bralette by Celine Feyten. She's actually, Emily is like the second person on the Ravelry page that I'm looking at right now. This pattern I remember really stuck out in my mind because Emily had talked about how customizable the pattern is. So the pattern comes in 9 sizes, and if I scroll down, I just want to read to you all the things that you can change and modify about this pattern. So you can alter the strap length to raise or lower the neckline. You can alter the waist shaping to better fit you, because I think there's also an option like to extend it. You can lengthen the body. There is an option. Adding bow to the straps, widening the center of the German shirt rose to better fit around her breast, moving the apex of the German short rose to closer to the center front, and widening the straps. That's the pattern. It seems pretty like in-depth for a bralette pattern, which kind of intrigues me because I honestly haven't spent that much time thinking about the shape of my boobs and like how they fit into things, but you know what, I would like to spend more time thinking about it. So I've knit one knit bralette in the past, and that was the Jessie made ripple bralette, and I mean, quite honestly, I just wear it around the house because it's like made of like a baby cashmere like blend, and if I wore it anywhere I think I'd just sweat, but it's very cute. So why not have more cute things to wear in the house if I have the yarn? So I think that will be maybe something I work on in the background. It probably wouldn't take that long because of the amount of yarn used, but again, it's another fingering weight project. I don't know why I keep doing that to myself this summer, but here we are, just trying to make the most of what we have with us. So that is the plan for the purple, artichoke purple knitting for olive merino. All right, moving on to something that I am really excited about and actually have cast on, and that is this. Let's talk about the yarn first. It is the Sanascarn line yarn. That's a rhyme. So this weekend I was in Frederick, Maryland with my boyfriend's family. He's from there. Magpie Fibers recently opened up their flagship store there, and so I've just been kind of jonesing to go yarn shopping in Frederick since I learned about that store opening up there. So my boyfriend and I had like a lovely rainy morning. We got pour over coffee and like avocado toast, and then we went to the yarn store, and my boyfriend was like, I want to buy you something, and I was like, am I in a dream? Like, this is the best day ever. So I thought that was really sweet, and it was actually kind of fun just to go with him and like be like, oh, and like kind of explain what everything is, because I'm sure to him and most people that don't knit, yarn is just yarn. But I was like, no, it's not, let me tell you. And I was like, this is superwash and there's different weights. And I was like, this is like a more rustic wool. It's like not what I like to work with. And he was like, okay, it's rustic. And anyway, I showed him spin cycle yarns and I was like, are these cool? And he was like, yeah. So we had fun. And I wasn't really looking to buy like, first of all, a sweater quantity of yarn because I didn't want to put my boyfriend out like that. But $200 later, I'm like, thank you so much. That was so nice. We just bought like a few balls of yarn. But I did see they had a large selection of Sanascarn yarns. I feel like I'm saying this wrong, but I had not seen them in person anywhere in my like very limited local yarn store exposure. I haven't seen them here at the shop I go to in DC. At least they haven't been stocked when I've been there. And I was very intrigued because all of the Scandinavian designers use Sanascarn, and I'm like, I've seen people talk about it. I haven't been able to touch it. And so I was like, consider me interested. So I believe they had their cotton, but they also had line, which, let me talk about the yarn now. So this yarn is 53% cotton, 33% viscose, and 14% linen, and it's in the colorway Dust Light Blue, which definitely, again, it's very different. I mean, this is actually pretty different, like, come on. But it's kind of like the midpoint. Like the Madeline Tosh is kind of the midpoint in between these two. But anyway, this is a very different composition. It has linen in it, and it's really, really pretty. So it's kind of like this aqua color, and it has this white thread kind of going through it. I did take some B-roll, maybe that will be helpful. Let me show you this one. Maybe this will be better. It has this like white thread going through it. Anyway, it's really beautiful, and I was kind of like, before we went to the store, I was thinking of patterns that I would maybe want to shop for, and one of them was the Ingrid top by Gregoria Fibers, and let me get you the stats on that. So the Ingrid top is knit in a sport weight, and it comes in 8 different sizes, and it's a tank top that features this eyelet detail. So I only have one eyelet, or I have 2 eyelets actually, going, but this is the back, I believe. And yeah, I saw this on Instagram. This is one of those ones that I saw and I was like, I followed the hashtag, and like after the 4th image I saw, I was like, okay, I definitely have to make this. So I'm really excited. Like, I'm really happy that we went to the store and I got to feel this yarn, because it is so incredibly soft and so nice to work with. I just like love the feeling of a soft fabric in my hand as I'm working the stitches. Like, that's one of my favorite parts about knitting for me, is like so fun. So she's cute. And again, I do think the color is different enough from the other blue yarns I showed you today to hopefully like differentiate it enough. But I'm very excited about this top, and especially how it's feeling already. Yeah, so any other notes on the Senis Garn? Shout out to my boyfriend for this. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited about this. So also, just in general, if you're in the DMV area, the Magpie Fibers store in downtown Frederick is like absolutely gorgeous. It's in an old bank, and so there's like a vault that you can walk in. I didn't take any pictures or video while I was there, but it's really pretty, and if you're in the area, I would go check it out. They have Magpie stuff, and they also, I saw Ritual Dyes, like I said, Spin Cycle, and some other brands that I'm not like fully remembering, but really pretty space. They also have fabric there as well, but I do not sew, so I wasn't really looking at that. But if you're in the area, definitely go check it out. All right, so moving on to the last item that I have yarn to show you for. I do kind of have like 2 bonus projects I want to talk about at the end, but I don't have yarn purchased yet. Is something that I've talked about since April, if you've been on my channel in between now and then. A while back, I purchased 2 skeins. Yes, 2 skeins of La Bien Aimee merino singles in this color. I think it's called Rose Quartz. I've since wound it up because I got really excited, but obviously haven't used it since then, and I am aware that that can stretch out your fibers, but like, here we are. Oopsie daisy. So I swatched it up and I stared at it and I was like, very jewel toned. I've talked about this yarn a lot. Basically, I just wasn't feeling as inspired by it as I'd like to. And so I decided to make the executive decision and relieve myself from all of these fingering weight yarns and purchase a mohair. So I decided to go and purchase the Kid Silk Mohair from Drops Yarn, and I got it in the color Off-White. And I've decided that with this, I will make the typical slipover by Typical Bliss, aka Tiffany Lou, here on YouTube. And I haven't actually made like a proper slipover before. I made a sweater vest earlier this year, but like I feel like it's very much a sweater vest. And like slipover just feels more, how do I say, Scandinavian knitwear designer-esque. That's the vibe I'm always going for. I just like want to like, I want my life to look like I'm living inside a petiteknit Instagram feed, but it won't, and I'm not. I live in America, and I pay taxes and don't get free healthcare. that's what's really holding me back anyway. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, this is the yarn that I'm using. It's a very simple slipover. It only goes up, I think, to size XL, but very simple, like crew neck, and just like a simple basic to have. Again, letting the yarn speak for itself in the pattern and not doing anything like too crazy to either like lose the design or lose the color. And I'm actually really excited about this now, but I probably won't pick this up until like late September, October, until it's warm enough to wear a mohair slipover, which won't be for a little bit here in our nation's capital. So those are the items, part of my stash that I'm looking to make. I have 2 more items that I've been really like thinking about and been excited about for a while, but I just don't have the yarn yet. And if you're my boyfriend and you're watching this, I would just go ahead and exit out. Not that I'm going to be talking about anything that I'm making you, but like I think you'd just be really bored by this section. So go ahead. Okay, now that he's gone. I've decided a long time ago that I want to knit a boyfriend for my sweater. I want to knit a sweater for my boyfriend. A while back, I saw someone I follow on Instagram knit their husband the Hot Toddy hoodie by Knitatude, otherwise known as Chantel. And it's called the Hot Toddy hoodie because her husband's name is Todd, and I just think that's so funny. But this is the perfect pattern to make for my boyfriend because he has this hoodie that is also sweater material that he loves to death, but it's also like the only thing he wears in the fall and the winter. So I'd love to give him another option, and he really likes it because he likes like the casual silhouette of the hoodie, but like that it's just dressed up a little bit by it being a knit sweater. So I thought, why not make one that's better because I made it. I'd like to make the Hot Toddy hoodie for him, and I'm planning on using the Swish worsted by Knit Picks. Last fall I made a baby cardigan out of the Swish DK, and it's their superwash merino, and it's very soft, and I really enjoyed working with it. I was kind of shocked at how soft it was for a superwash. So I am planning on using that because there's no world in which I knit 100% wool sweater for my boyfriend, just because, for a lot of reasons. I don't think. Editing Amanda here, really quickly, just wanted to note that in this section, I think I kind of talk about yarn incorrectly. I'm kind of talking about superwash wool as if it's not wool. It is, like, and this yarn is 100% wool, but it's treated. And so what I'm really trying to say is like why I made my decision in my head to use this treated wool versus a non-treated wool. That's what I'm saying. I understand that superwash wool is wool. I think you get it, but I just wanted to make sure we're extra clear. He would really appreciate like the quality of having a 100% wool sweater. Like, I don't think he'd really care either way. And also just for like, I want it to be durable for him and something that like he can take care of himself and not like have to worry about. I probably won't tell him to put it in the washing machine, and I probably will like give him instructions on how to hand wash it, and if he's really scared, I'll just wash it for him. We have options, but like there's no way I'd be spending the money to make him a full wool sweater just because I don't think he'd appreciate it or wear it. So superwash, it exists for a reason. Definitely gonna use that and probably make it in like, I think a greenish color. He has like a ton of gray and navy stuff, and like I don't know who decided like the only color, my phone's dying, the only color men's things can come in are gray and navy, but like stop, because I'm sick of it. So yeah, he's like blonde and has blue eyes, so I think a nice like dark green will look really pretty on him. He'll look really pretty. So that's my plan for the BF, and for me planning to ruin our relationship by knitting him a sweater and invoking the sweater gods and they're gonna curse me in my relationship. Anyway, we should talk more about the sweater curse in another video. Maybe when I actually finish it. Anyway, his birthday's in October, but Christmas is also at the end of the year, so I'm thinking either for his birthday or for Christmas. It just depends on what I'm making and kind of like what's in my queue and what I'm excited about. So if I get really excited about something, I'll be like, you can wait till Christmas. And I'll be stressed and crying on like December 19th. It's fine. Anyway, okay. Okay, I'm always like, I get so excited when I film these videos and then I like black out, word vomit, and 45 minutes later, I'm like, who am I on my couch? Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe it got some creative juices flowing for the rest of the summer and your knitting. I really enjoy spending time with you all virtually, and I just wanted to thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see y'all soon. Bye. And today I'm going to be talking about my okay.